Puffy,
Yeah.
aka Diddy now.
Right.
When I first met him, I was making my first album, and he gave me a lot of insight into music business. He had been in the music business a long time, and yes, thank you. I didn't like him because, you know, Sean and I were very different that way. You know, I was very like family oriented.
I was a dancer, she was a dancer. I was ambitious, she was ambitious. I was a workaholic, she was a workaholic. At first, all of those things was working in our benefit.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Go back and look, don't lean.
Right. Do you have any advice for him to come on?
No, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I don't have really anything.
When love comes wrapped in chaos, what do? For Jennifer Lopez, this wasn't heartbreak, it was survival. In Hollywood's heyday in 1999, J.Lo and Sean Diddy were Hollywood's power couple, turning heads on red carpets and dominating headlines. Whilst beneath all the showcase, there was a storm in the making that would turn both of their lives upside down. It wasn't your typical love story. You have arrest, infidelity, and the intense glare of public scrutiny. How did it all unfold? More importantly, how did Jennifer Lopez rebuild her reputation after one of the most talked about and messy breakups in Hollywood history? So, let's get to the dramatic history of J.Lo and Diddy, from their love to their scandals and their eventual relief. Jennifer Lopez was on the verge of superstardom in 1999. Then, Sean Diddy Combs, known as Puff Daddy, was already king of hip-hop, the undisputed music industry figurehead. At just the right time, their paths crossed, and they became not only collaborators, but full-blown lovers who would go on to take the world by storm. They had chemistry, their appearances, which soon became media sensations as they began dating. Then, at the 2000 Grammy Awards, Lopez showed up in the now iconic green Versace dress. She wasn't just wearing it as a fashion statement, it wasn't just a cultural phenomenon, it was a solidification of her as a global star. Next to her stood Diddy, oozing the charisma of a man who felt just as comfortable in the limelight. They were Hollywood royalty, glamorous, powerful, magnetically so. But that wasn't the only thing that was attractive about them. It wasn't just their fashion choices or their red carpet appearances. The duo represented a blending of two worlds. Lopez, the Bronx-born Latina ripping it up in music and film, and Diddy, who ran Bad Boy Records. It looked like they were a perfect match. They couldn't get enough of the media. Every outing, every whisper, every public declaration of love made news. The power couple just hooked fans and kept them pleading for a larger-than-life power couple persona. Was all that glisters really gold? Those cracks were forming on the surface. Cracks that would eventually end in one of the biggest, most dramatic Hollywood breakups of the time. What started out as a fairy tale romance would end in a way as public and painful as possible. Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs weren't a couple. They were an event. They went everywhere. Cameras followed a lifestyle that seemed too unreal to imagine. The parties became extravagant, and so did designer clothes and begging for private jets. Together, they sold a dream, a life that many wished for, one which left the media having a hunger for more. They weren't just living, they were living large, living the late 90s and early 2000s celebrity excess. But all the more so, red carpet appearances only helped to increase the allure. They exuded magnetic energy whatever the occasion, whether at the VMAs or exclusive industry events, screaming power and success. Others wanted to be with them, and fans wanted to be them. Each picture made for us the perfect power couple, adding more layer to their public image. Things weren't as perfect behind the glamour as they appeared. Close to the pair, insiders later said the relationship was just as passionate as it was volatile. There were emotional highs, but there were emotional lows too. Their public displays of affection erupted in arguments just as often. There was tension, mistrust, and increasingly a growing sense that things were not right behind the diamonds and designer labels. Lopez and Diddy's propensity for party lifestyle clashed sometimes with Lopez's growing focus on her career. The surface was cracked underneath while the world saw a seamless partnership. The whispers of infidelity and the hurried mornings crafted were enough to make people wonder whether they were as solid as the ground beneath them. What really happened when the cameras weren't rolling? The question was on everyone's minds as their fairy tale started to come undone. Even the brightest stars have shadows. One night, one gunshot. All that they built began to crumble, and everything they built started to crumble. But it was December 27th, 1999, a night reserved for celebration at Club New York. The industry's golden couple, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs, were there to soak up the glitz of Manhattan nightlife. The melee started out glamorous, but turned into chaos when their night was cut short by gunfire. The aftermath was nothing short of catastrophic, and 3 people were injured. Lopez and Combs fled the scene and were both arrested. The news exploded in headlines. The scandal of the year, according to the media frenzy, instantly. Lopez was cleared quickly of any wrongdoing, but Combs was incarcerated and brought to trial for weapons possession and bribery. Then, suddenly, they were brought back down to earth in the fairy tale image they had cultivated. The incident was a career crisis for Lopez. She was just starting to break into Hollywood and becoming a pop sensation when she was 16. That a nightclub shooting would be associated with her rising star was a threat, but her team worked overtime to distance her from the controversy, and the public's curiosity and judgment continued. What did she do? She fought back. The pressure would be channeled into work. Her debut album On the Six would become a career-making moment. She also got into her acting, landing roles that would establish her as a serious player. The road was much darker for Combs. It was tabloid fodder, with drama and intrigue, and raised questions of the influence he claimed. This was not the night that turned their relationship to gold. It was the night their relationship would end, so quickly, to become infamy. From then on, nothing between them would be as it was again. What do you do when your trust is broken by your loved ones? Struggling to hide all the cracks in their relationship, Jennifer Lopez and Sean Diddy Combs seemed unstoppable. One of the biggest, betrayal. Fast forward, years later, Lopez would candidly admit to Diddy being the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful. Underneath the glitzy facade, these words unveiled a painful truth that had been hiding there for a very long time. During their time together, rumors of Diddy's indiscretions made their way into tabloid headlines, and they were rumored to have been cheating too. That was devastating for Lopez, who was managing the pressures of fame while building what might be a lasting partnership. Once broken, it was impossible to trust again. It was an emotional toll. Lopez, as ever in public, always poised, carried the heartbreak in private. Her struggles only were magnified by the constant media scrutiny. The world dissected every tear, every argument, every decision to stay or leave. It was more than a private heartbreak. It was a public show. In the end, Lopez snapped. Her dreams were more than turbulent relationship. She was rocketing toward the top of her career and was not going to allow personal turmoil to stop her. She said Uganda has enough, with courage and determination. There was nothing selfish about walking away. It was a statement of self-worth. Reclaiming control of her narrative was part of the move forward for Lopez. It was pain poured into work, making herself a global icon. It's her story of resilience and how to know when to let go after heartbreak. Whether cheating shattered their relationship or put the fire to Lopez's stomach to rise past the chaos and into power, this woman is today is anyone's guess. But clearly it ignited something that she now draws from. You can't live in your mistakes. You learn from them. The Jennifer Lopez line of words best sums up her life after her roller coaster ride relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, a ride she managed to pull herself out of, and she has never looked back since. Realizing growth is the only thing that matters. Lopez didn't just survive after splitting from Diddy. She used the chance to thrive. She focused on her career, with heartbreak presenting in no way as an obstacle to defining herself. From there, she went on to redefine what it meant to be a global icon in the years to follow. Lopez helped bring chart-topping albums and starring roles in blockbuster films. She was a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood and in the music industry. The Wedding Planner exposed her range as an actress. On the 6th cemented her as a pop sensation, and in between took this diamond of a talent to heights of creative heights in movies. It wasn't just her professional success that people talked about. People paid attention to her perspective. She has always voiced her thoughts in interviews about her time with Diddy, or Puffy, as he is also known, about love and self-worth. She's also shared that she's learned to never settle. The relationship wasn't just one chapter of pain for Lopez, it was a lesson in learning of her value and finally learning how to set boundaries. Lopez's story is relevant because it's not so much about getting over it as it is about becoming transformed. Using her struggles as a starting point, she evolved from them, proved that even the most public heartbreak can be used as a springboard for amazing amounts of personal growth. Lopez today is a symbol of strength and reinvention. Her journey is a testimony how failures, even how painful, and even how public, can be the stepping stones to a future even more shining than you could have ever imagined. Resilience became a graphing through the heartbreak, and it has inspired millions of people to cultivate theirs. Jennifer Lopez has forced a line in the sand between herself and Sean Diddy Combs, it seems. But recent allegations around Diddy's personal life have only made her more determined to keep their history in the past. They were once part of the same story. Now, their lives are split into two entirely different chapters, with Lopez saying she has no ties to her former flame. Lopez was reportedly asked about Diddy at a recent industry event, and tensions hit a boiling point. Instead of ignoring it, she made a big exit, walking out with a composed but resolute bearing. The message was loud and clear. She's had no interest in any narrative that connects her to him. It was an immediate reaction, with some applauding her for setting boundaries and others wondering how over the top her response had to be. It's been as vocal as it's been divided by public reaction. Lopez has fans and celebrities alike tweeting for her strength and protecting her peace, but others have criticized her actions as too dramatic and said that perhaps revisiting the past was not going to be able to be avoided in the public eye. For his part, Diddy has remained mostly silent about the renewed discussion of their history. It is unclear whether his silence is deliberate or disinterest. Lopez's stance is unwavering, though. She's got a legacy that's different than her past, and she intends to stay that way. Once someone's relationship with Lopez made headlines, the drama surrounding their relationship might have been too much, but that's all in the past, and Lopez won't let it define her now. And the more distance there is, her story continues to be about empowerment and progression. Jennifer Lopez and Sean Combs' story is a tale about surviving and prospering from the height of passion to the depth of controversy. Lopez's relationship with glam, drama, and heartbreak made her the powerhouse she is today. She conquered everything: challenges, betrayal, and emerged with courage. And Grace, emerging more powerful, reinvented herself. What then can we learn from their story about the price of fame, the guilt, and the price to pay to move on? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, then don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.